Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? Today is finally time for me to do my very first Q&A video. I'm very excited actually, and I have a feeling it's going to be quite a long video, I'm not sure. But I did receive quite a lot of questions, so thank you to all of you who left comments and questions. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get to them. I'm pretty unorganised, so I'm just going to be going through the questions on my actual video on my phone. For anybody who doesn't know, I recently reached 500 subscribers, which is amazing, and I asked people to ask questions on that video, and people have, and so I'm just going to go through them and answer them in this first Q&A video. So first of all, there's a question from Rai809. He's been a subscriber of my channel for quite a few years, and I always appreciate his comments, so first of all, thank you for your question. Anyway, his question was, he actually asked two questions. The first one is, what's your favourite animal? That's a pretty hard question. Since I was a little girl, I used to love horses a lot. I don't know why, but I just loved horses. I could never ride them or anything, but I just love them. I just think they're very elegant, beautiful animals, and I don't know, I just used to love them. So horses is probably the best answer I can give you. But I also really like dolphins. Again, I don't know what it is about them, but I just think they look really, really beautiful. I'd love to be able to get close to one someday. That sounds a bit weird, but I don't know, just be able to see them from up close and stuff. I mean, I have before in shows and stuff, but it would be cool to be able to touch one or something. Yeah. I also really like giraffes and camels, probably more so giraffes. I don't know what it is about giraffes, but I just think they look really innocent and funny and cute, and I don't know, I just think they look hilarious and in a good way, and I love them for that reason. Right, Rai's next question is, can you act? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I do act sometimes, and I have acted before, but I don't think I can act very well, so that's probably the best answer I can give you. I can act, but not very well. I used to act in theatre shows and stuff at my school, and more recently, a few years ago, I did a little short workshop performance thing at the Her Majesty's Theatre, which was awesome. It was part of a course called West End Stage, so you might have done it yourself, I don't know. But it was really awesome, I was happy to be able to do it, but my performance in it was embarrassing. There's actually a video of it on my channel, which I'm going to link here, and you can go and watch it if you want. Just go and laugh at my acting, because it was terrible. I honestly cringed every time I watched that performance. But I had fun anyway, so yeah. I don't think acting is ever going to be a professional choice for me, but I do enjoy doing it just for fun, so yeah. The next questions are from the Lewis Snell. He also makes videos about theatre and stuff, by the way, so if you want, you can go and check him out. His first question is, what's made you love theatre so much? That's a good question that I don't know a definite answer to, but all I know is I've loved theatre from a very young age. I think the first ever film musical that I watched was Annie, the musical, the Disney version, back in 1999. And I just fell in love with it, and I loved it, but even before that, I've always been fascinated by theatrical things, acting with song, basically. This might sound really strange, but I used to love Barney, the dinosaur, a lot, and in a very weird way. I mean, you can't really compare it to theatre, but in some weird ways you can, because Barney was pretty much acting, but, at the same time they had songs in there every now and again, so that's kind of similar to musicals in a very strange way. But yeah, I've just always loved them. I've always been a big fan of music, and so I think that, in combination with acting, made me really love musicals, because I love films and I love music, so musicals I love. The thing is with theatre, I think what I really love about it, especially now that I'm more grown up and I'm an adult and stuff, I just love the fact that it's very unpredictable and very real. It feels very real when you go and see it. That's the difference between theatre and film. And I'm definitely more of a fan of theatre than film. I very rarely go and see films in the cinema, but I go to theatre a lot because I just like that kind of real rawness to theatre, that you never know what's going to happen next because everything's happening live in front of you at that moment, and I love that. So yeah, that's how I became to love theatre, I guess. His next question is, have you partook in any shows or musicals? Again, that's quite similar to the last question. Yes, I have done some unprofessional, amateur shows before, at school and stuff. In high school, I was part of pretty much every show they used to do. It was just for fun. Again, it was nothing serious. I just did it because I enjoyed doing it, and some of my best memories from school are the memories from being in shows and stuff, and even now I'm taking acting lessons and courses to just kind of perform little shows every now and again, which is fun and I enjoy it, but yeah, nothing serious, literally just because I enjoy doing it and it makes me happy, so just for fun. Anthony Ward has asked a question. Hi Anthony. Hope you had fun in London the other day. You saw Miss Saigon. I hope that was fun. Anyway, his question is, what's the story behind all your figurines in your room? That's a good question. I mean, as you can see behind me, there's loads of random stuff on my shelves. Most of them are these little weird, small Vinylmation figures that are Disney ones. And I've been collecting these since 2011, I believe. And there is a bit of a story behind it actually, because I remember in 2011, Tom Fletcher from McFly, I'd seen him post about some of his Vinylmations on Twitter and stuff before, and one day I was just browsing on the Disney website online, just casually looking at random objects, and I spotted one Vinylmation that I just thought looked really cool. And it was the very first Vinylmation figure that I bought. It had a Union Jack flag on it, and I'm going to try and find it for you now actually. this was it. It's weird because it actually is on the old mould, because the moulds changed for Rhinomations recently, but yeah, this is the first one that I bought. I only bought it because I thought it looked really cool, because I was like, it's Mickey and it just has a Union Jack flag on it, so it's a nice thing to have. And I guess I just became obsessed after that, because that's usually what happens with me. When I get something, when I buy something, I just want to collect more, and after I got this one, I quickly got more and got into them a lot, and I wanted to buy all of them, and I was like looking online constantly for like more figures, and yeah, that's how this collection was made basically. I have kind of slowed down recently, basically because I don't really have any more room left. Some of my Rhinomations I don't even keep in my own room because, as you can see, I don't really have much space left, so I keep some of them outside my room. And it's funny because pretty much everywhere you go in our house, you can just find some of my Rhinomations everywhere, which annoys my mum and dad quite a bit, but what can you do? Zoe Haylock has asked a question, and her question is, how did you get into theatre? Again, I guess I kind of answered that before, but yeah, I've just always loved theatre, and when I moved to London about 7 years ago, I think now it is, I just wanted to make the most of living in London, and because I already loved theatre, and I'd already seen shows like Wicked and Billy Elliot previously, and the fact that now I was living in London made me feel like I could just go and see them whenever I want, and I wanted to make the most of it, pretty much. And then gradually I found out about ways to get cheap tickets, or even free tickets sometimes, and that made me just want to go a lot, and I don't know, it's a nice community as well. When you go to theatre a lot, you meet all these like-minded people who also like theatre, and that's really nice. It's just nice to be able to talk to other people who think the same way as you, or like theatre like you do, and yeah, that's probably what really grabbed me into it. I think it was in 2009 or 2010 when I actually became aware of this whole theatre community and made friends with other theatre fans and stuff, and since then I've just been going even more than normal, so yeah. A username called The Small Funny Guy 1 has asked me, what's your favourite musical, and please sub to me. Now, I have since subscribed to you because your videos are actually pretty cool, and as for my favourite musical, it's going to have to be either Wicked or Billy Elliot. I really can't choose. For a long time I used to say Wicked always, and then back in 2009 I think I sort of changed my mind and used to answer with Billy Elliot, but then it went back to Wicked for a while, and now I just don't know. I think Billy Elliot and Wicked are very different shows, very different musicals, and I think I just love them equally. They both make me happy, they both have very good elements about them. I think they're both perfect musicals, and I really can't choose between them, so one of them. Abby Butsy has asked me a couple of questions. First one is, will you be attending an evening with Kristen Chenoweth in July? Sadly, no, I will be not. I mean, I'd quite like to, but her tickets are quite expensive, and I guess I'm not interested enough to go to her concert. Like, I know she was the original Glinda and stuff, and I think that's amazing. It'd be cool to see her live one day, but I've got other priorities at the moment, other shows that I want to see and other performances that I want to see, so yeah, sorry, I'm not going. But if you're going, I hope you have an amazing time. I've heard incredible things about her, and I'm sure she'll be incredible that night as well. Her next question is, which of your pop vinyl figurines is your favourite? I'm collecting Game of Thrones ones, but I need me an Elphaba. Okay, so pop vinyl figurines, I'm guessing she means these ones, because these are Rhinomations, whereas these are like Pop Funko vinyls. And I think from these ones, I'd have to say, either Elphaba is my favourite, or Woody. And I don't actually have Woody displayed on there, but yeah, Woody's my favourite Disney character, so yeah, this is my Woody. Pop Funko vinyl, and he's probably my favourite. Either him, Elphaba, or I actually really like Snow White as well. I don't know why, I think the colours on her are very vibrant. So yeah. YOLO Vlogs, cool name, has asked me, what do you think of the closing down of I Can't Sing? Love your videos. Thank you for saying that you love my videos, that's really nice. And about I Can't Sing, I'm gutted. Like, I feel like they didn't deserve to close so early. Yeah, I think it's very sad. It's a very sad situation with their show. I guess not enough people got the chance to see it or weren't willing to go, but I think if it had lasted longer, then perhaps more people could have got the chance to go and see it, because it was funny. It was a very funny show. It wasn't the best musical I've seen by any means, but it was great entertainment, and the people who did see it, most of them at least, seemed to like it, and I guess it just was wrong timing, and it came out at the wrong time. I think maybe if it had come out like in, I don't know, when X Factor starts in like August or September, then maybe that could have helped promote it a bit more, and more people would have gone to see it. But I don't know, I just feel like very sorry for the cast and the creatives and anybody who worked on that show, because it's tough. This industry is tough in general, but like getting a two-week notice, that's crazy, and that's all they had to kind of find new jobs for themselves. And yeah, I feel very sad for them, and just very sad as well in general, because I think they deserve to stay in the West End for at least a year. They deserve that, and yeah, that's my thoughts on I Can't Sing closing. Carol Bradley has asked me a question. She said, my question is, What's the best theatre experience you've ever had? Love your video, Sam. Thank you, first of all. And that's a very tough question because I've had some incredible, amazing theatre experiences over the years. But there are some that I'm going to mention now because there's just some that just come to my mind immediately, so I'm just going to name those. One of them was definitely the first time I saw Billy Elliot. Billy Elliot was the first ever show that, like, made me cry and made me completely amazed in a very real and weird way. Like, I'd never seen any show like Billy Elliot before, and I remember when I first saw it and I cried during some of the scenes. I was shocked. I was about 18 at the time, and I remember I was sat in my seat and I was just literally just kind of confused as to why a theatre show, was making me feel all these emotions. But literally I cried, physically cried, the first time I saw Billy Elliot, and that had never happened to me before in any show, so for that reason I think it's very memorable, especially because when I first went to see Billy Elliot, I didn't even want to go and see it. My friend convinced me to go and see it. I wanted to go and see Hairspray, the musical, but my friend was like, let's go see Billy Elliot, I've heard great things about it, my friends have seen it, blah blah blah, so I was like, fair enough, I'm going to come with you, and I was just so amazed and so happy that I got to see it, and then my friend convinced me to go and see Billy instead of Hairspray, which I do like as well, but definitely not as much as I like Billy Elliot. Also, the first time I saw Phantom of the Opera, that's definitely one of the most memorable theatre experiences of my life. I think anybody who goes and sees Phantom of the Opera is just, you can't help but be completely mesmerised and amazed by what you see on stage because it's an incredible show. It's just spectacular, and yeah, the first time I saw Phantom was definitely incredible. Also, there's been some amazing, memorable performances at Wicked, the musical. Like, one memorable show would probably have to be the last time that I saw Kerry Ellis in the role. It was in like 2009, May of 2009, and it was on a Friday, her last Friday performance in the show. And I just remember, it was the first time I'd gone to see Wicked on my own, probably the first time I'd gone to see any show on my own, and I remember in the interval, I was just so amazed, I didn't know what to do with myself. I ended up ringing my mom and just kind of talking to her for the whole duration of the interval, just kind of going on and on about how amazing Kerry was and how amazing the show was, and yeah, that's definitely a show that's always kind of stayed with me since 2009. But there's so many more, like Nicky Davies-Jones's last show in London. I don't think I've ever cried so much in a show before. That was so amazing but emotional at the same time. Also, there's been some incredibly memorable shows at Billy Elliot, like one of my favourite Mrs. Wilkinson left the show, Caroline Deverell. On her last show, I was literally in tears for the whole show, and it was just an incredible, emotional show. But yeah, I think memorable experiences at theatre happen all the time, and you can't really pick just one, but I hope the answer that I gave was enough and good for you, so yeah. Thank you for your question though, it's quite a cool question. Next question is by Jamie Doncaster. He's asked me, my question is, what is your favourite scene/song from Wicked? Now that's a very good question that I have a solid answer to for once. My favourite scene and my favourite song from Wicked the musical is, without a shadow of a doubt, Dancing Through Life. I know that may come as a surprise to some of you, but I just love Dancing Through Life. I think everything about that song and scene especially is amazing. The song itself is just so light-hearted and fun and melodically beautiful that I just never tire of listening to it. And I just love Fiyero dancing. It's like one of the songs that no matter who's playing Fiyero, even if it's a Fiyero that I don't necessarily like that much, I still enjoy it because the song's great and I just love the scene in general, the choreography, everything about the scene I really like. But also the whole scene, like I love the whole kind of, 10-15 minute sequence of that scene. From when Fiyero appears until when Elphaba and Nessa have that little conversation between them, and then Glinda and Elphaba when Glinda gives Elphaba the hat, and then when they go back to the Oslos ballroom, they have the whole big thing and when Elphaba appears and then the whole friendship thing starts between Elphaba and Glinda. I just love that whole scene. Like I was paid money just to go and see that scene because I love it that much. I think it's probably one of my favourite scenes in theatre ever. And it's just the whole thing because that moment when Glinda first decides to become friends with Elphaba, that's in that scene. That's the moment where they do the dance together and it's all like there's no conversation, there's no lines or anything. It's all done through movement and I think it's just an incredibly beautiful scene and I love it. And I love that scene and that song, and yes, without a shadow of a doubt, Dancing Through Life is my favourite song and scene in Wicked. Okay, next question is from Initially Camera Shy. She's also just recently reached 500 subscribers as well, so congratulations to you. Everybody should go and check out her channel because she's awesome. She makes videos about like theme parks and just lots of kind of random fun times that she has, so yeah, definitely worth checking out her channel. Anyway, her first question is, who is your favourite celebrity? That's a very interesting but hard question. But I don't know, I think, you might laugh at me, but I think I'm going to go for Tom Fletcher from McFly. Or Shane Filan or Kia Egan from Westlife. Basically guys, I just love boy bands, so most of the celebrities that I know are boy band members, so I know that might be embarrassing for some people and a bit cringy, but I don't care, I love them. Also Jedward, John and Edward from The X Factor. I think they're brilliant, they're hilarious, they always make me laugh and I've met them quite a few times and they're always really nice and funny, even in real life, so yeah, probably them as well, although I don't know if you can call them celebrities anymore, but I do love them. Also Ant and Dec, that's probably a better answer because they're actually celebrities. Yeah, Ant and Dec, the presenters, are funny, hilarious, really, really cool. And also, Ellen DeGeneres. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She is so funny. She's like a legend. So yeah. Her next question is, which is your favourite musical, Billy Elliot or Wicked? Then she asks, which is your favourite ride at Disneyland Paris? It's gonna have to be Thunder Mountain. I absolutely love that ride. That ride just makes me so excited and happy every time I go on it. It was the first ever roller coaster that I went on when I was a child, and I still absolutely love it. It's still my favourite roller coaster of all time, so yeah, Thunder Mountain. Fourth question is, which is your favourite Disney movie? That's a pretty tough one, but I think I'm gonna have to say Toy Story 1. And her last question is, where is the best place you have visited? Again, that's a very difficult question because I've been to quite a lot of places, but I don't know. And it says places, well, it doesn't say city or country, it says best place you've been to. That makes it even more difficult, I think. I mean, Disneyland would be an option, Disneyland Paris. I've been to Disneyland Paris quite a lot of times, and every time I go I have the best time ever. But like, I don't know, I really like New York. I've been to New York a few times as a child, but I only recently went back last year as an adult, and it gave me a completely different experience, and I absolutely loved it. I just love the kind of, I don't know, I think everybody's very lively and happy and constantly very busy, and it's kind of similar to London in a way, but a bit more exciting, and because of that I think I really like New York. But there's loads of places I've been to. I mean, I don't know, like Geneva, where I was born, Switzerland. I love that place just because of memories and stuff. I like Newcastle. I don't know why, just for some reason I really like Newcastle in England. I think the people are really cool, and I love the accent as well, so I don't know. Those are places. The next question is from Dan Johnson. Hi Dan. Now he asked, does it mean a lot when people such as myself come up to you in the theatre and recognise you, or does it feel uncomfortable? It definitely means a lot, and I really love meeting you guys. I mean, I can't say it's happened a lot, it's probably happened about 8 or 9 times so far, but every time it's happened, I've been completely humbled and just happy to meet you and talk to you, in person. So if you do see me anywhere, do come up to me. I don't really think that I'm going to be like annoyed or uncomfortable with it. I'm always very happy to talk to people. If I do come across a bit uncomfortable or awkward at times, it's probably because I'm just taken aback, because I never go out expecting for people to recognise me. So at times when it does happen, I get a bit surprised, I guess, and that kind of might make me feel a bit awkward at first. But I do apologise if I do seem a bit uncomfortable, but it's definitely not the case. I do genuinely love talking to you, so yeah. And Dan, I remember meeting you last year, in November of last year at Wicked, and that was really cool. So yeah, hopefully we'll meet each other again someday. Victor Klein has asked, did you ever been in the Rock and Roller Coaster in Disneyland Paris? So basically, have I ever been on the Rock and Roller Coaster in Disneyland Paris? Yes, I have been, multiple times. And it's actually probably one of my favourite rides in Disneyland Paris, or the studios, because it's in the studios technically, but yeah, I do love that ride. It can sometimes be a bit unpredictable and not be as fun, but other times it can be the best thing ever. So yeah, I have been on it and I do love it. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Nottingham Blue 67 has asked quite a few questions. First question is, your top 5 favourite shows ever? A very difficult question again, but I do actually have an answer. They're all going to be musicals, just because I tend to prefer musicals to plays, but anyway, the list goes something like this. 1, Wicked. 2, Billy Elliot, but I do love them equally, to be honest. 3, Avenue Q. 4, Phantom of the Opera. And 5, Newsies, the musicals. So yeah, these are my top 5 favourite musicals. His next question is, your 5 shows to avoid. That's a very difficult question, especially if you mean like now in the West End, because there have been some shows in the past that I would say you should avoid definitely, but they've closed luckily, so I don't know. I mean, at the moment I don't think there's any shows that I've seen in the West End at the moment that I wouldn't recommend or say completely avoid, but like Stephen Ward was a show that I would definitely not recommend to anybody, but that closed last year. All the Fun of the Fair was another show that was on back in 2010 and I really hated, so there's been quite a lot of fringe shows that I've seen recently that I haven't liked, although I don't really want to name them. But yeah, I mean, We Will Rock You, weirdly enough, I probably would have said at the time when I first saw it, I would have been like, don't go, don't avoid it completely, because the first few times I saw We Will Rock You, I really didn't like it, but I do actually like it now, and I'm quite sad that it's closed in the West End. Let's see, other shows. Yeah, I think one of the shows was called Thrill Me, yeah, something like that, and it was on actually in one of those, I can't remember the name of the theatre. It was on back in like 2011, and everybody seemed to love it, but I really didn't like it at all, so that's a show that I would say avoid. But yeah, at the moment, at present, like from the shows that are in the West End at the moment, I really can't think of a good answer to give you, especially not a list of 5 shows to avoid, so sorry about that, but yeah, there are some shows definitely that I would say you shouldn't go and see. His next question is, the name Sam for God, does it have religious meanings? That's a very good question, and I think a lot of people probably wonder about my username because it's quite a kind of unusual username, I suppose. It's definitely not religious though, not that I've got anything against religious people, but the story behind Sam for God actually goes like this. When I was about 15, I used to go to a Christian school in Vienna called the Vienna Christian School, and it was like an American missionary Christian school, and it was quite a weird, strange school, but a lot of people in that school were like proper Christians, and I remember one of my classmates, like one day we had to like fill in a form with like our email addresses and stuff. And one of my classmates had the email girlforgod at like gmail.com, hotmail.com or something. And I remember I saw that email address and I just thought it looked really cool for some reason. Not for any religious reasons, just because to me it looked really cool. The way it looked, like visually, looked cool to me. And then I put it in my mind, I was like, make it Sam for God. That would look even cooler because there's like 3 letters in Sam and 3 letters in God. So that would make it even out and it would just look really cool. And I tried it and I just really liked the way it looked. And so since then I've just been using it as my username for pretty much everything. For forums, like online message boards and stuff, YouTube, Twitter, everything. I just use that, on username because not many people have that username and I don't know, I just think it looks cool. I also kind of like the fact that people never really know what I mean by Sam for God. Like, I've had a lot of people ask me, does it mean that I want to be God because Sam for God, like I want to be God? Or if it's because I love God, like Sam for God, I love him so much. Yeah, I mean, it's just a kind of a very weird username that I've had since, but I think a lot of people do think it's probably because of religious reasons. And I don't mind, I really don't mind, but it's not. Just so you know, it's not. And it's easy for people to remember as well, like Sam for God. It's very easy for people to keep it in their mind, so I thought it was just a good choice. Now, Nottingham Blue 67 / Tony, hi Tony, he's asked quite a few more questions. Number 1 is, if you could have one part in a show, which part would you choose? I'd play Chistery in Wicked, by the way. Good answer. Now, if I could play any part in any show ever, regardless of my lack of talent and abilities, I would probably go for Glinda in Wicked. Because I think Glinda is one of the best and most interesting characters in musical theatre, and I just absolutely love Glinda. Also, my next choice would probably be Mrs. Wilkinson in Billy Elliot, or Kate / Lucy in Avenue Q. So these 3 would be my top 3 roles to play, if I could just play anything I wanted. His next question is, I live in Nottingham, so chances to see shows are limited to events like birthdays, etc. Looking to book ready for my birthday in November, torn between 4 shows, Miss Saigon, Wicked, Phantom, and if it's on, Water Babies. What would be your tip? Now, that's a pretty difficult question, but I would say if you've seen Wicked already, I mean, you've mentioned here you've seen it 8 times already, probably avoid Wicked because you've already seen it. And Phantom you've seen twice, but I mean, if you do like it, Phantom's always an incredible show to go to, no matter who the cast is. I think Miss Saigon, because you mentioned here that you've never seen it before, would probably be a good choice because I saw it the other week and I really, really liked it. And I didn't think I would. I think it's a very classy, real and emotional musical that I surprised myself by how much I liked it. And especially if you like shows like Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis especially, then you're probably going to like Miss Saigon. So I think maybe go and see Miss Saigon because it's a new show as well, so it's always good to see something new. And Water Babies, I mean, hopefully it will come to London, but who knows, if it's here, I'll probably want to go and see it again as well. Okay, so the next question, and I'm sorry there's so many questions, this video is already very long, but there's quite a few more left, so let's get through them. The next questions are from Andrew Hickling, and his first question is, where's your favourite place you have travelled and where do you want to visit in the future? Again, I think that's quite a difficult question, but like I said, I really did love New York. I think New York just has exactly what I want from a place. I mean, of course, theatre-wise, it's perfect. I mean, all the shows there and just the liveliness in general. And I don't know, there's just something about it that I really loved about New York. But I also really liked Sweden, Stockholm in particular. I visited there just a few weeks ago with a friend, and I thought it was a perfectly beautiful and clean city and country. Everything just seemed very relaxed and kind of nice and chilled. And I don't know, there was just something about the Stockholm that really made me love it. And I think people as well. The people were really friendly, very nice, but not in like an overly cheesy and dramatic way. They were just very friendly whenever you actually needed help from them. And I just loved the city in general. I thought it was a very clean, beautiful and relaxed city. Although it wasn't as busy and kind of lively that I want cities to be normally. So because of that, I'd probably say my favourite place is New York that I've been to. But there are other places that I've loved as well. I mean, Dubai is probably actually one of them. I used to go to Dubai quite a lot when I lived in Iran because it was really close to Iran, and I mean now it's like one of the best places to go to, but even at the time, even like several years ago when I used to go a lot, it was a really cool place because it was very lively. It had loads of things, pretty much everything that you could get in like America you could also get in Dubai, and it was very hot and like I don't know, there was something about Dubai that made me really like it as well. But again, best place I've been to would probably still have to be New York. Oh, Venice actually, but now I'm just listing all the places I've been to, sorry. But yeah, Venice in Italy is an awesome place. I visited there when I was about 15 or 16 and I really, really liked it. It was just so unique. I mean, like, I'd never been to any place like that before, and I only stayed there for like a couple of days, but I really enjoyed my time there, so yeah. Sorry if that was a very vague answer, but I really don't know. But I think in the end it would just probably have to be New York just because I really loved it. The next part of the question is, where do you want to visit in the future? There are several places that I'd really like to visit too, but one of them is Norway. I don't know why, but I've been very fascinated by Scandinavian countries recently. I went to Copenhagen in Denmark a few months ago, and I recently went to Sweden. And now I think it's time for me to finally go to Norway, which is a place that I've been wanting to go since I was a child. So I think Norway is probably the next place that I'd really like to go to. But also like Australia, I've never been to kind of that area of the world, and I think it'd be cool to travel that place and just, you know, discover new things there, because again it's like a very different kind of culture, and like, it'd be nice to visit it someday, and hopefully I will one day. Also like Malaysia and China and like Japan, oh my god, all these places I'd love to go to. So yeah, I do love travelling, and I really hope to be able to kind of see at least all the major countries in the world someday. That would be really good. Anyway, Andrew's next question is, which regional theatres have impressed you? That's a very good question. The theatre in Cardiff, I can't remember what the name is, but the main theatre in Cardiff anyway, where Wicked was playing at a few months ago, I thought was really cool. It was just very modern looking and just nice, and it's like by the bay as well, so it's really nice. The Edinburgh Playhouse in Edinburgh, obviously, is another good one. I've been there once, I believe, to see Legally Blonde, the tour a few years ago, and I thought it was really cool. I don't know, I mean, what else? The main theatre in Newcastle, I think it's called the Royal Theatre of Newcastle or something like that. I visited that one last year, I think, and the show that I saw was in one of like, the small studios inside the theatre, but it still looked amazing. The theatre itself, especially from the outside, it looked like a proper museum. It was so beautiful in my opinion, so yeah, I'd probably actually have to say that one, the Royal Theatre of Newcastle or something like that. I'm so sorry if I've got the name wrong, but you know what I mean, the main theatre of Newcastle, basically. The next question Andrew's asked is, which Broadway shows would you like to see transfer? Newsies is definitely one of them. I absolutely love Newsies, the musical. I think it's amazing, one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I'd love for it to come to London. There were rumours actually a while ago that it would be transferring sometime, but the rumours have kind of died down now, and it doesn't look like it's going to be here anytime soon. So, I don't know, I mean, I really want it to come, so forget about Kinky Boots and that. Please bring Newsies over. I would love to see that in London. Apart from that, I don't know, I mean, Next Normal, I mean, I've never seen that show, but I've heard such good things about it that I think I'd like to see it. But yeah, my main focus, without a doubt, is definitely Newsies. I want to see Newsies in London. Please bring it over. Andrew's fourth question is, how do you feel about visiting the theatre alone? Great, I don't mind it whatsoever. I do tend to visit the theatre on my own quite a lot, because a lot of the times I just go because I want to do reviews and my friends are busy or just aren't interested. And sometimes I don't even bother asking people because I just don't feel the need to have anybody with me, especially if it's a show that I know most people wouldn't be interested in. I just go on my own, and I don't mind. I just don't see a problem with it. And it's funny because I never have minded, like even when I was younger, when I was about 19 or something, that was when I went to my first theatre on my own, and it was Wicked for Kerry's last week. And I remember the first time that I went to the theatre on my own, I didn't think anything about it. Like I never thought, oh my god, it's going to be scary or anything. I just went. Like I didn't feel weird or sad or anything about it. I just literally went because I wanted to see Kerry in her last week in the show, and I didn't stop to like ask people and see if anybody wanted to go see with me. I wanted to go and I wasn't going to miss out on seeing her one last time, and I just went, and I don't regret it at all, and I'm glad I did. And yeah, I think going to theatre alone can actually be quite a nice thing because it makes you think more about the show that you're watching. Because think about it, you spend most of the interval time actually thinking and reflecting on what you've just seen instead of talking with your friends or other people that are with you. And I think that's good, and sometimes and for that reason I actually prefer going on my own, which may sound a bit weird, but it's just true. I mean, I do like going with friends as well, don't get me wrong, it can be really fun going with friends, but sometimes it's just nice to just go on your own and be completely absorbed into that theatre show for a few hours and just be in that own world for a few hours and completely forget about everything else. Like, I like that, so yeah, I think more people should go on their own, and I think there's nothing scary about going on your own, so just, if you haven't done it before and you want to do it, do it. It's great. Take your phone with you, or take a book with you, or just get a programme when you're there and read that programme in the interval. It'll be fine. Don't worry. Right, the fifth question that Andrew asked is, what TV shows do you enjoy? I don't watch much TV, to be honest, but I do like reality TV shows like The X Factor and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and Big Brother. Sorry, I know everybody hates it. I also used to really like Gossip Girl, but I haven't watched it in a few years. And like Grey's Anatomy, I was obsessed with that TV show for a while, but again I haven't watched that for a couple of years. I'm actually I think on season 4 or 5 only, so I've got a lot to catch up on, so don't spoil it for me if you've seen it. What else do I like? Yeah, that's about it really. If you've got any like recommendations for me, do let me know in the comments because I'd love to watch them if I can. I know everybody's been telling me to watch Breaking Bad, and I do actually have the box set. I got it for Christmas, and I will start watching it one day, but I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't interest me, but believe me, I will watch it eventually. I just think it's a bit too overhyped right now, so I wanted the hype to kind of die down before I actually start watching it. I'm weird like that. So, Andrew's last question, and all his questions have been very interesting, his last question is, who are your favourite YouTubers? Now that would have been a very easy question for me to answer just a year ago, but because of recent events that have happened in the YouTube community, I'm finding it very difficult to answer this question. But I have to be honest, my favourite YouTuber for about 6 or 7 years, basically since I started YouTube, my favourite YouTuber was Alex Day / Nerimon. I think that his content was just amazing, excellent. I mean, he was a very hilarious, honest person in my mind. I really found his comedy interesting, fascinating. I found his life interesting. I mean, the way he kind of told stories and stuff I thought was really good. And I actually kind of liked his music as well. So yeah, Alex Day Neriman used to be my favourite YouTuber. The reason I can't say that he's my YouTuber anymore is because of recent events that happened a few months ago. And if you don't know about them, just Google them. Alex Day scandal or something. So yeah, I feel very sad about that actually, because I loved Alex Day. I think what he made on YouTube was amazing. I still am actually a fan of what he does on YouTube. Like, I've lost respect for him as a person, but I still love what he did on YouTube. So yeah. Other favourite YouTubers, there's Connor Manning. I've forgotten his username actually, but I'll put it here if you want to go and check him out. He's not a very well-known YouTuber, but he does have quite a few subscribers, and his content and the videos that he makes every week are amazing in my opinion. They're very thought-provoking. They always make me think, and they always make me feel better about myself and about the world in general. So because of that, I think I really like his channel, and I think he's a very intelligent, clever guy. In some really weird ways, he actually reminds me of Alex Day, which is weird, but yeah, I like people who make me think and are able to like say stuff in an interesting and fascinating but funny way. So yeah, I think he's quite similar to Alex in that sense. Also, I mean, there's Elmify and Carrie Hope Fletcher. I quite enjoy some of her videos. Louise Sprinkler of Glitter, I think she's great. I mean, there's quite a few. I can't really name all of them, but yeah, Alex Day definitely for a very long time used to be my favourite YouTuber, and I guess he's kind of still is because I still admire the content that he put on YouTube, even though I don't really like him as a person, I suppose, because I don't agree with what he's done. So yeah. So, the next set of questions are from a username called SunshineOcean20. They say, congrats on 500, thank you. And their questions are, number 1, do you ever go to the stage door when you see shows? Yes, I do sometimes like going to the stage door, but I don't go as often as I used to. When I first started going to the theatre a lot, I pretty much used to go to the stage door for every show that I saw. I don't know why, it's like I felt like it was just part of my theatre going experience. And I did that for about maybe 4 or 5 months, like I would literally go and see a show and then go to the stage door, even if I didn't like the show that much. But I definitely don't do that anymore, and these days I hardly ever go to the stage door actually. Nowadays I only really go to the stage door if I know somebody in the cast that I want to say hi to, or on some occasions when there's like a really big celebrity or just somebody that I really admire that I'd like to meet, then yes, I might go to the stage door. But I don't know, I just don't feel like I need to go to the stage door anymore for some reason. Like I said, it's only really just to go and say hi to people that I know in the show, so yeah. Sunshine Ocean 20's second question is, favourite theatre quotes? That's a pretty good question. And a very hard one as well because there's so many, but I'll name some of them. One of them, and this actually used to be the name of my blog for a while, is Wishing Only Wounds the Heart from Wicked the musical, and I just love that quote. I think it's very true, and I kind of live by it in a really weird way. I know it's a bit of an unusual quote to kind of pull out from Wicked, but I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think the whole thing about not wishing, and it's kind of, to me it's like, don't be jealous of other people. Don't constantly think, oh I wish I had this, oh I wish I had that, oh I wish I could like live my life like this person, because it's just going to drive you mental. It's just going to wound your heart. There's no point living like that. Wishing, literally all it does, it wounds your heart. It makes you feel sad, and because of that I think it's a very clever quote and I really like it. There's also quite a lot from Billy Elliot the musical. The best one will probably have to be What We Need Is Individuality. It's in the song that Michael's character sings first in the show. And I think it's amazing because, again, I completely agree with it. The world would be boring if everybody was the same, if everybody liked the same things. I've said it before, but I really don't like people who like copy people or do things just because other people are doing it or just because they want to fit into the crowd. I think individuality and being unique is just what makes me and the world happy. So yeah, I love that quote because of that reason. Also in Avenue Q, there's a quote in a song called For Now that says, everything in life is only for now, basically, and again, I agree with that. There's actually quite a lot of nice quotes in that song that I like. Life may be scary, but it's only temporary. That's a quote from that song in Avenue Q, and again, I completely agree with it because I just think it's really nice to think of life that way and just realise that even the bad things in life, they may be sad or scary or tough, but they're gonna pass and you're gonna have good times again, and everything's gonna end in the end. So yeah, everything is only for now. The bad things are only for now, and also the good things are only for now. So yeah, I do like that quote and that song in general. Okay, next question by Sunshine Ocean 20 is, how long have you been playing the piano? I've been playing the piano since I was about 9 or 10, and I'm 23, nearly 24 now, so about 14, 15 years ago? I think that sounds about right. I started off playing classical music and I had lessons for about 4 or 5 years, I think, maybe even 6 years, and then I kind of stopped for a while and now I just play whatever I want, so yeah. And her last question is, favourite play? That's a good question actually, because I haven't seen as many plays as I've seen musicals, but my favourite play would have to be, without a doubt, The 39 Steps. It's a West End play and I think it's hilarious, and it's been on for quite a few years in London. And it's just so funny. I've seen it, it's probably the play that I've seen, in fact it is definitely the play that I've seen the most. I've seen it over 10 times and it still makes me laugh every time. I originally went to see it because one of my favourite performers, Diane Pilkington, was in it, but since then I've been back quite a few times and it still makes me laugh, and I think it's just a very clever, hilarious, witty play that everybody should go and see. Okay, so the next set of questions are by my friend Rebecca. So Rebecca, hi. Thank you for asking me questions. Anyway, her first question is, what is your favourite toilet? I'm not even going to answer that. Next question is, are you any good at accents? Now I know why she's asked this, because she knows that I'm terrible at doing accents, and yeah, in case you guys want to know, I'm awful at doing accents. I like doing them, I like pretending that I can do accents. I mean, I've tried to do her accent, my friend Rebecca's accent, because she's from Liverpool. I try and do her accent all the time, but it apparently is a fail, and I do it very badly every time, but I still like doing it for the lols. Anyway, her next question is, what would you do if you turned into a turtle? And apparently another friend of mine, Vicky, actually helped her with that question, so thanks for that very interesting question. If I turned into a turtle, I would just probably sleep all day, because turtles are known for being like very slow and lazy, and generally I'm quite a lazy person, so if I turned into a turtle, at least I'd have an excuse to just kind of be lazy all day and not do anything. I'd probably also like kind of go into like weird places and try and discover new things. Maybe I could try and sneak into some theatres like backstage, or like into just people's houses and kind of figure out all these interesting facts about people. That could be quite fun. But yeah, to be honest, realistically I think I'd just sleep all day and be lazy. So not too far off from what I do now, basically. And her last question is, Rebecca, who is your favourite holiday companion? Wink wink. I mean, who else can I say? This answer is completely obvious. Of course it's going to be Minnie. Yeah, Minnie is my favourite companion when I go on holiday. Soz. Right, we're very nearly done. Last set of questions come from a username called MEBM15, and she's lovely. She's commented on quite a few of my videos recently, and I always enjoy talking to her, so thanks for your questions in advance. But anyway, she's asked quite a few questions, so let's get on with them. Her first question is, who is your favourite Christine, actress who has played her in Phantom? You didn't necessarily have to have seen the actress on stage. My favourite Christine of all time is Gina Beck, and I've been lucky enough to see her on stage live 3 times as Christine, so yeah, I just thought she was perfect for the role, and no Christine that I've seen since she left the show has been able to like live up to her performance, so yeah, Gina Beck, without a doubt, my favourite Christine of all time. Second question is, favourite theatre in the world or just West End/local? That's a very difficult question to answer, because I sometimes find it hard to kind of distinguish between the theatre and the show that's in that theatre at the moment. So like for instance, I really want to say the Apollo Victoria Theatre or the Victoria Palace Theatre, because they host my 2 favourite shows, Wicked and Billy Elliot. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I think the theatre itself is the best or my favourite theatre. I don't know. I do definitely think that the Victoria Palace Theatre especially is a very gorgeous theatre. I mean, if you've been there before, you'd know that once you enter the auditorium, it's beautiful. I mean, all the levels and like the decoration everywhere, it's a very wonderful old theatre, so I do like that theatre. But also like, I don't know, the Wyndham's Theatre, I think. It's kind of a random one, but I think it's a very nice one. It has a really nice chandelier inside it that always kind of amazed me, and yeah, I like that theatre. Also, Theatre Royal Drury Lane. I think that theatre actually is probably the only theatre in the whole of West End and London that always makes me feel like I'm going to the theatre, if that makes sense. Like, because I go to theatre a lot, it doesn't always feel that special when I go to theatre, because it's like, I do it so often that it just feels very normal. But whenever I go to the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, which I've been to quite a few times, it's just like there's something about that theatre that makes me literally feel like I'm going to the theatre, and I can never go to that theatre without making an effort and like dressing up and stuff, because I feel like it's just like a very old, historic and iconic theatre that you kind of, I feel a bit weird when I'm there. I feel a bit like not as comfortable as I feel in other theatres, and I don't know, because of that I kind of like it, because it really makes me feel special. Like every time I go to a theatre I feel very special, and it's a very beautiful theatre as well, the Drury Lane. It's gorgeous. If you've been in there you'd know, it's just beautiful. Okay, next question. Favourite new musical and or play of this season so far? Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I love that musical. I think it's hilarious, it's got an amazing cast, and yeah, I can't wait to see it again. Fourth question. West End or Broadway, or even local? I'm gonna have to say West End. I mean, I've seen 3 shows on Broadway and they were good, I enjoyed them, especially Newsies. But I guess I haven't seen enough shows on Broadway to be able to get a good feel of what it's like, and I just love the West End in general. I mean, it's where I live, and I think generally we do have some great shows in the West End, a great variety of good shows, and I like it, so I'm gonna have to say West End. Question number 5, favourite play of all time, not including musicals? The 39 Steps, like I said before. I love that show, it's hilarious, it's amazing, just go and see it. Question number 6, favourite Disney princess? I don't know, I'm not really into princesses, but Snow White or Pocahontas? Does she count? Question number 7. Favourite Disney character, not including princesses? Woody from Toy Story. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Question number 8. If you could play any Disney character in any Disney musical on stage, who would it be? As in, the musical doesn't need to be an existing musical adapted to stage. It can be from any Disney film, even those that have yet to be adapted to stage. That's a very fun and interesting question, and I don't really know. Who could I be? Anyone from any Disney film? Wow. Jessie would be fun from Toy Story, I think. I don't really know how they could adapt that to stage though. But I don't know if Frozen were to ever be adapted on stage, which I think it will. I mean, there's rumours that it's going to be on Broadway soon in a few years. Playing Anna could be really fun. I'd love that. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many options. But what a great question. So thanks for asking me that. Her 9th question is, favourite song you've played on the piano? Now I'm guessing she means a favourite song I've played on the piano that I've actually uploaded on YouTube, because there are some other songs that I've played on the piano over the years that I've never uploaded on YouTube, but from the ones that I've uploaded on YouTube, I think my favourite song to play is probably Think of Me from Phantom, which I uploaded a couple of years ago. And I really like playing that song because it's got all the elements that you'd want from a song. It's like a very good piano piece, it's got everything in it. It's not the same at all, it's never boring. There's so many things in it that I don't know, I really enjoy playing it, and if you haven't seen that video of me playing that song, you can click on this link right now and go and have a look if you want. I just love it. I love the song as well, but I just really love playing it. And I don't know, I mean, more recently I think What Is This Feeling from Wicked is one of my favourite ones, although the problem with that song is that because it's such a heavy song, your fingers go like that all the time. I don't know, if you've watched my video you might know what I mean. I can't play it over and over again, so whenever I do play it, I can only maybe play it 3 times or 4 times in a row before my fingers get tired and I have to rest them for a bit. So yeah, I don't know, definitely Think of Me though is my favourite song to play on the piano of the ones that I've uploaded on YouTube. It's just so fun. Right, her 10th question is, how many times have you seen Wicked? Now that is a very difficult question to answer, I'm afraid, because I used to keep count of my Wicked visits up until about maybe September of 2012, but since then I've just completely lost count and I haven't been counting, and the simple answer is that I don't know, and believe me, it annoys me as much as it annoys you. I mean, I wish I knew, and I probably will sit down one day eventually and try and count them and figure out how many times I've seen it, but it's definitely more than 80 times, and hopefully less than 120 times. So somewhere in that kind of 40 range, but I'm not quite sure. I have a feeling I might have actually reached 100 without even knowing. So yeah, quite a lot of times, too many times probably in fact, but I do love that show at the end of the day, so yeah. And her last question is, musical you wish could have a film version? Don't know if I should exclude Wicked because that's a given. That's a good question. I don't know, I think. I mean, my 2 favourite musicals, I mean, Wicked, obviously, she said she excludes it from the question, and Billy Elliot is already based on a film, so probably Avenue Q, actually. I think it could work really well as a film, because, I mean, Avenue Q, in a really weird way, is kind of based on Sesame Street, and I think it's because the comedy in it is just so funny and universal. I think it could work really well as a film, and all the puppets as well. In a film, you could get, close-up versions of them when they do different scenes and stuff. Yeah, Avenue Q, I think. Yeah, definitely. They should do it, actually. Why haven't they done it before? Yeah, Avenue Q should be a film. It would be hilarious, and I would watch it every day. And the very last question comes from a username called Discolitsita, I believe. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. But they've said, congrats on 500, thank you. I collect Vinimations as well. Most of my collections is the Star Wars series because I'm a nerd. What collections do you have? Now I assume they mean what collections of Vinimations I have. In which case, I do have quite a lot of them, as you can see here. I mean, there's Vinimations on pretty much all the collections that are in existence, but if you mean, which collections I actually have, the whole complete series, not many, to be honest, because the way I do it is that I only really buy Vinimations that I actually like the look of, so I don't worry about completing a series. If I don't like some of the Vinimations in the series, I just don't buy them, because, I don't know, I just don't see the point in them. But I do have some completed ones, like the Pixar 2 series is complete, and the Animation 4 series is complete as well, I think. But yeah, I've got quite a few of some of them. I mean, I might actually do a Vinylmation collection video someday, if you're interested. So do let me know if anybody wants that, but yeah, hope that answered your question, and I like that you like Star Wars, because Star Wars is a good film, and being a nerd is cool, so high five! Right, so this is all the questions that I got and I answered. Felt like a very long video. I'm so sorry, I can't believe how long this video is, but I really wanted to answer every single question, and I'm very, very thankful to every single one of you for leaving the questions. They were all very interesting ones that I enjoyed answering, so thank you for that, and thank you for being subscribed to my channel. Also, I do want to say one thing. Quite a few people recently have asked me if I liked any recommendations from people about shows and stuff to go and see. And my answer is definitely yes. Please, if you've seen a show that you think I might like, let me know about them. I might not necessarily be able to go and see them them, but I will try my best. And even if I can't go, I'd still like to hear about them. So do let me know if you have any theatre suggestions. I always like hearing from you, and it's always really nice as well to talk about anything theatre related. So yeah, I just wanted everybody to know that in case anybody had any recommendations to give me or wants me to go and see a specific show. Do let me know, and I very well might go and see it. So yeah. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so sorry again for how long this video is, but I hope you enjoyed it and I hope I answered every question. If I didn't, I'm so sorry, but I did definitely go through all my questions and comments and I tried to answer every single one of them. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye!